going on, everybody? It's your man's Kelly from Kelly's Kitchen on Reality313Radio.com. I told you we was out here in the West Coast, the beautiful West Coast of LA for the whole BET weekend. Listen, we talk about a lot of artists. We have a lot of artists on here, but we really don't get into depths about the business side of the music. And with that being said, we got the one and only Erica Tucker, music publisher, administrator, to talk about the business side of the music game. What's going on, Miss Erica?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. You all right?
Yeah.
I'm loving this weather out here, girl. I might have to move up out of here.
I'm enjoying it myself.
Okay, I might have to get away from the D for a little bit and move and find something up over here.
Yeah, come on.
Listen, I know you're very huge in the music, and I was gonna say hip hop, but just music, period. We've had a lot of music artists on the show, and talk about, the writing skills and the lyrics and the game and how's the game changed. But we have yet to have that genius behind the music, and you are that genius. Can you explain to our viewers and the people that's watching the show and the people and the artists, whether they're in hip hop or R&B or pop or whatever, what's the importance and how is the important side of the business and them knowing the business side of the music?
Well, there's a saying in the music industry, in business period, that it's 80% business,
Right.
20% talent, which is very true. So
Right.
business is actually more important than the talent itself. I know some very talented people that have a lot of potential that never get anywhere. So
Right.
business is key. It's the most important part of any and everything you do, especially if you want to be a successful artist or producer.
Right.
So what I do is the music side of things, as far as collecting royalties for songwriters, producers, and artists who, of course, are songwriters as well.
Right.
There's two sides of a record. There's what they call side A and side B,
Can
which
you
is
explain that?
the master and the composition. So as far as the composition, that means whoever wrote the track or composed it, And so a producer has a dual role as a composer, because every song can be broken down into musical notes, which means they compose and they produce on the master side. So basically, what I would tell any up-and-coming artist or producer, songwriter is, number one, copyright your music. That is one of the most, or that is the most important thing. That's putting everybody else in the world on notice that this is your intellectual property. This is your music. It belongs to you. That means that if anyone tries to steal your stuff when you're shopping your records, you have a very good legal basis for being able to recoup all of the profits that whomever made, whether it be an independent person or a major label. So copyright is the most important thing. The second thing that I would say is very important is registering with the Performing Rights Society, i.e. BMI, ASCAP, CSAC. What that does is, when you start to make money off of your music, they collect the performance royalties, what are known as performance royalties. So that means every time the song is performed, ASCAP surveys the airwaves and they credit your account. They charge whomever is playing it, and they credit your account for that money. Now, it's not just as simple as signing up. After you sign up, you have to make sure that you upload all of your music in the form of MP3s and register the songs, i.e., list who the writers are and what their respective percentages of ownership are.
Right.
So once you do that, now ASCAP has a record of the MP3, and they actually match the sound waves of your music, and that's how they're able to determine that your song is played. So it's very important to not only just sign up with the Performing Rights Society. It does no good if you don't register your song.
Right. Now, how do a lot of artists miss this information? How does it just go over their head and they don't do this? Is this because of them not having the right business manager or right entertainment attorney? How do they get caught and end up getting their money taken?
Well, number one, I would say knowledge is power. So enough people don't take the time to empower themselves by sitting down and actually digging into information that's readily available on the internet, as far as copyright. The U.S. Copyright Office website, you can upload your music online and copyright it. It's a very simple process. I mean, just the information is out there. People, number one, don't take the time to go and get it, because on a basic level, it's really not about having management, because until you start to make money, that's not really an important part, unless you have a lot of buzz, a lot of following, street presence, where you have people contacting you constantly and you need a buffer. Other than that, it's about self-empowerment in those beginning stages. It's about finding that information and making sure that you take the proper steps to have those safeguards in place to protect your music, and to make sure that you're not susceptible to anyone stealing from you. And then the second reason that happens a lot is from people signing bad paperwork. Everything in this business is black and white. When the majors get involved, even the indie majors, even the aggregators, so to speak, like the TuneCores of the world and the iTunes, it's all in black and white. It's an agreement. So you only get what you negotiate. You don't get what you deserve. So what I would say is, don't be so eager and thirsty to align yourself with a major label until you have enough leverage, that you're valuable to them, and you have room to negotiate. Otherwise, you just become another casualty of this industry, someone that ends up maybe getting their foot in the door, but you end up shelved, because you know what I mean, they'll come and find you. It's really about the people. So I would say focusing on, number one, protecting your intellectual property by properly copyrighting it and registering it with the Performing Rights Society that you choose to go with. I like ASCAP and BMI and CSAC. I think that they're, it's up to different personalities. So you really got to meet the staff and see, if it's a good fit for you when it comes to that type of stuff personally. You know what I mean? Like, because everything isn't for everybody. So I'm not biased to any of those societies to say I prefer this one over that one. But, just to register is very important.
So what determines when you want to work with a client, a future client comes to be like, Erica, girl, you off the chain, your business, I need you on my team. What will determine if you want to work with that client?
Numbers.
Okay.
So early on in my career, I worked with a lot of independent artists, that didn't have any placements, and independent producers and writers, and I still am not biased. I'm always looking for up and coming, always looking for a diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? Raw talent. However, me myself personally, I've evolved to the point where I only deal with writers and producers that have major placements. So when they seek me out, the first thing I do is what's called a target analysis. And what that means is I go and I take their discography, which for those of you who don't know what a discography is, that is basically a listing of all the songs that someone has written or produced and are major releases, or actively selling. So I take that discography and I compile a spreadsheet where I go to sources like SoundScan and figure out how many records have sold, and I do the math and I figure out how much it's worth, and if it's enough money there, then it's enough money for me to help you, and it makes sense for me as well, because in this industry, what a lot of artists, producers, and writers forget is that the business side is very valuable, and they take for granted the talent on the business side. As far as you getting what you deserve, you need somebody that's equally as talented on the business side of things. So once you evolve to that level, it's about negotiating a fair deal with somebody that knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? Not being caught up in hype. So that's what determines for me right now who I'm working with. So if you got a placement on a you know, Dej Loaf album, and, you know, it's your first one. I get a lot of up and comings like that, like, you know, never had a placement before, and they're kind of in a gray area where they're not big enough for the majors to really look at them yet, but
Right.
they need help collecting that money or it'll be lost.
Right.
So for those people, I'm a valuable asset.
So, with so much of the independent going on right now, what can you explain to the viewers and the artists and future clients that's looking at this? What are the pros and cons to that?
Okay. So, I am all about entrepreneurship. So my first response would be stay independent as long as you can. And even when you do entertain a deal with a major, don't sign directly as an artist. Ask for a joint venture. A joint venture means your company does a deal with that company. You don't sign yourself directly as an artist to that label. But when your CDs come out, yeah, their imprint will be on it, and you know they'll also give you some of the money for marketing and things of that nature when you get to that level and you need it. However, if you have a hot song, let that song keep getting as hot as it can until you need that help. But I would definitely say remain independent, and when you do a deal, never do a life of copyright deal. Never sign your copyrights away for life. That's whether you're talking about the composition or your master recording. Because if you do a label deal, of course your master recording, you know, is the collateral for that deal. You know what I mean? That's what they're signing you for, to get a piece of those songs.
Right.
So you don't want to give them that for a lifetime in exchange for some advance. What you want to do is, you know, take an advance, but make sure that, you know, you retain ownership, or you only, you know, part with your copyrights for a set period of time, you know, until they recoup and that time passes, and then you own your stuff. So if it ends up being a mega hit years down the line, you have something to leave for your children. That's one thing about music in general. What I see is that it's a big difference between the urban music and the non-secular music, you know, scene. It's like basically with urban music, there is a kind of a tone that money is lost, and the reason being is ignorance. Purely ignorance, you know. Hip hop music is very colored. It's a lot of black people in the, you know, hip hop industry, and people of different, you know, backgrounds. You know, now it's not just
it's not just us.
Yeah. So it's all mixed up. But you know, with the music scene, what I see is that a lot of the hip hop artists and writers in that genre, producers in that genre, don't get paid, and that's simply because of a lack of knowledge, you know, and not having their stuff registered. So I would say remain independent, but make sure that you go and seek the knowledge that you need to successfully be independent, because you know it's all about, you know, knowing what you're doing. So you only need the label, you know, for two things pretty much, administration and marketing. So if you know, empower yourself with the, you know, the knowledge to administer your own rights, then, you know, you become in a better position to negotiate.
Okay, now since we're out here in the beautiful city of LA, and we got everybody looking all around the world, and I'm here with the one and only beautiful Erica Tucker, let our viewers know, who have you worked with?
My writers have produced for everybody from Tyga to B.O.B., 50 Cent, it's such a long list. Young Dro, Cash Out, Natasha Mosley. Natasha's actually one of my clients and good friends. Shout out to Natasha. She's an independent artist that is definitely going to be one of the next, you know, up and coming.
Major people in the game.
Major. Yeah, she got pipes. And one of my main clients, Big Czar, FKI, he's responsible for a lot of hits like Get the Fuck Out My Face, Rich Homie Quan and Young Thug. I mean, a lot of the down south trap beats, Gucci
Wow.
Manes, and Yo Gotti's, and I mean, it's pretty much. It would be easier for me to list artists that I didn't have a connection with, either directly or through my writers, than to, list who I have worked with. Like for instance, I don't know if you guys are familiar with G-Eazy, but
Oh yeah.
he's pretty big, and actually, he didn't have a publishing deal. His stuff was unsigned. He had 2 albums worth of money just out there in the world.
Wow.
And I actually found them and chased them up and, started a bidding war. I basically found them and sought them out and, got them talking about a publishing deal. And Matt, his manager, is super cool. Shout out to Matt. And we started a little bidding war and, got pretty high, but we ended up getting outbid by Sony and Sony.
Okay.
So he's now a Sony writer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You saved a lot of people careers and got them paid.
Yeah. That's what I like to do. I like to be an advocate. I think of myself as like a Olivia Pope of the music industry. Like,
They
I'm
better
a
watch out now,
yeah,
okay?
I'm a white coat. So, the thing about it is, the way this game is designed is they want it to be a lack of knowledge, and I have no problem filling that void, and going where no one's gone and blazing the trail. So I'm all about putting the information out there for our people so that, we can have assets and, something to leave to our children.
Yes,
you know what I
indeed.
mean?
Have a
Because-
legacy.
Yeah, have a legacy to leave because, there are so many talented people in the urban community that don't even know their own worth,
Right.
so to speak. And instead of letting, these majors and, these people, these corporations get rich off of us, I'm all about, empowering our people so that we understand how to go out there and get it, and, we're not vulnerable to that,
No doubt. Before I let you get up out of here and we out here in LA, please let our future artists that's coming up and your fans know how can they get in contact with the one and only Erica Tucker.
All right. So, I'm not quite going to put my number out here, but I will give you guys my email and my Instagram. DM me, email me. If it's something that we need to talk about, I'll definitely send you my number via email. But my email is Erica, that's ERICA, Blessed, BLESSED, the number 1, at yahoo.com. And my Instagram is Erica Glitterati, so that's ERICA GLITTERATI_.
You heard it right. And if you didn't hear it, can we get it one more time?
Yeah, that's Erica Glitterati. ERICA GLITTERATI_.
You heard it right there now. If y'all want to get paid and don't want to get cheated, get in contact with this lady. She's about that business. The one and only Erica Tucker, right here on reality313radio.com. Thank you for being on this show. We know you're a busy lady. I might want to get paid, so I'm going to have to come to you too, okay?
Yeah, just holler at me. You get a hit, holler at me.
Most definitely.